our Seaside Band. Best band in town, even if I do say so myself. Glad to see you guys here this morning. Thank you. Hello. Welcome, everybody. I want to invite all of you out there socializing in the social hall to come on in. We're going to get ready to get started here. Grateful you're all here. Good to see all of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. So I'm Reverend Debbie. It's my joy to be here with you today. We have got some invitations for you. As always, Seaside is a thriving, dynamic spiritual center, and we've got lots going on. I'm going to tell you about something that's not coming up for a little while, but I want you to be aware of it. On June the 6th, we are going to be having a booth at North County Pride. Come on out. Save the date. Visit us, 12 to 6 on June the 6th, Saturday. And, visit. I thought it said Vista. I'm like, no, it's Oceanside. Oceanside. And in a few weeks, we're going to ask for some volunteers or people that might want to work the booth. But we're going to be out there in shining Seaside. So I invite you to come. The next day, June the 7th, is Seaside graduation. Yes. So save the date for graduation. We have our very own beautiful Nicole Johnson. Will be graduating from ministerial school. We have Elaine Bryant and Nicole Sorensen and Susie Glenn will all be walking as new practitioners. We're very excited about that. So save the date, save the date. Okay, we have got some connection groups happenings coming up. We have got so many opportunities for you to find a place to play at Seaside. There's got to be a group here that you would connect with. First of all, I have the Women's Gathering Circle is going to be Friday, the May 15th at 11 o'clock. So that's the women get together at 11. They bring sack lunches. I think they still bring food, and they talk and get together and connect. So that's 11 a.m. on the 15th. The Animal Love Connection Group is getting together on Sunday, May the 10th, following the second service. That's with Karen Cole, who's just back from traveling all around the world. She could tell you all about that, but that ministry is being launched. So plan on joining them on May the 10th. There she is, waving from the back door. On May the 9th at 10 a.m., Saturday, the business group, the Business Connection Group is meeting. They meet here on Saturdays in the Quimby room because sometimes we have other things going on in the social hall, so they're over in the Quimby room. Then on Friday night, May the 8th, the couples group is getting together, which is thriving. I think Deb's told me they've had 16, 18 couples that show up on this for Friday night. So it's a really dynamic group. 5 o'clock on May the 8th. You might have seen in the social hall hanging up, there's the poster, the banner on the special events wall for Paul Selig. Now, Paul Selig's not going to be here till June the 11th, but tickets have gone on sale already. Paul's people have been selling their tickets already. We are just beginning to sell tickets here at Seaside. You can purchase them on the website or by clicking on the QR code on the banner. We do expect the event to sell out. He's very, very popular, and like I said, he sells to his own mailing list. We had 300 people here last time he was here that were brand new to Seaside. So if you want to get your ticket, I would get it early. Paul is a channeler. He channels his guides. So it's really very, very cool. Come on out and be part of that, June the 11th. Ageless Radiance, Gods and Goddesses, with the Reverend Rebecca Berry, starts on May the 7th. It's a 4-week class. Reverend Rebecca's up here in the front row. If you want to talk to her afterwards, see her in the social hall or sign up online. Today after service, Tara Short, who is our education director, and myself are having an informational meeting in the Quimby room about advanced consciousness studies. Now, advanced consciousness studies used to be called Prac 1. It's the first year of training towards becoming a practitioner. You do not need to be wanting to become a practitioner to take advanced consciousness studies. It's open to everybody. If you're wanting to take a deeper dive into your own spiritual life, if you're wanting to have a more conscious connection with the divine, if you're just curious what the heck a practitioner is, how do I become a practitioner, what do I need to do, all that we're going to talk about today. So again, it's informal, informational meeting following service today in Quimby. We have a Wednesday night service here, Inner Light. It's been going since the beginning of January. It is done by two ministerial interns, Reverend Lori McMacken and myself. And last week we had the great honor of introducing one of our newest ministerial interns who spoke for the very first time, Susan Murphy, who just rocked it. She did an amazing job if you weren't there. Someday maybe we'll record it, but right now you have to come if you want to hear what all this good stuff is going on. But this Wednesday night is Reverend Lori McMacken. She's introducing our May theme of compassion. Her talk title is The Sacred Power of Compassion, and that's Reverend Lori McMacken right here at 6:30. And then today you might have noticed a little happenings out there in the social hall. Gourmets for God is back. If you've never been here for a Gourmets for God season, you're in for a big treat. So what it is that we spend the first 3 weeks, and today is week 2, for hosts to sign up for events. So if you'd like to sign up to have an event at your house, or some people do it at the beach. We have one gentleman who does it on his sailboat every year. But our committee out there is open to help you to come up with an event that you could host at your home. It can be small, it can be large. You set the price, you figure out what you want to do, and all of that. And so this is the second week of host sign up. Next week we'll continue with host sign up, and then the following week the bidding begins. And then we bid for the events we want to go to, and some are open to 8 people. The board does board bingo, that's open to everybody. So there's all sorts of opportunities. Lunch with Dr. Christian, that's usually a hot item. So there'll be all sorts of things. But today, go see Mala and her team in the social hall after service and see if you might want to host an event. Pick your date, get on the calendar before anybody else. But what I'd like to ask you to do now is to please stand and greet your neighbor, and please remain standing for the congregational song.
All right, good morning, Seaside. Welcome, everybody. Let's all stay standing together. We're going to sing, I'm Choosing Heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing love today. Grace, I'm choosing grace today. I'm choosing grace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing grace today. Come on, Bob, play for us. That's Bob, everybody. I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing peace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing peace today. Let's do one more. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today.
Well, good morning, everyone. Woo, what a joy it is to be here with all of you on our first Sunday in May, right in the center of the equinox, the spring and the summer solstice. It's like it's an exciting time. Can you feel it? All right, well, you're in the right place for sure. We have got a wonderful morning in store, and Danielle, you get to play both sides, a musical director and guest artist.
That's right. I am double duty today.
That's right. We are blessed to have such talent like you to be able to step in last minute for sure. Hey, how's your gig coming? Don't you have a big one coming up? Where's that? We can go.
Yeah, well, let's see. I'll be at Humphreys on May 16th, so if you want to come out and dance. And then this August, I'll be with Back to the Garden doing their 1969 show at Belly Up in the neighborhood.
Oh, sweet,
Yeah.
sweet. All right, got a couple parties coming up. Okay, hang out with Danielle and dance. Anyway, hey, we got to get back to the spiritual stuff. Though dancing is like praying twice, I figure, right? Dancing, singing. Anyway, we got Sharon Ray, just a wonderful practitioner, Seaside for many years, teacher of our practitioners, and just a wonderful go-to person when one needs prayer. Sharon Ray de Leon, take us to that deeper place, please.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm so glad to be here today, and I'm especially glad because I am so filled up and I feel so refreshed because yesterday all the practitioners got together and we had our annual practitioner retreat. And so it was just really lovely. We all got together and connected and got to be fed. And so it was a really beautiful, beautiful day. And I want to really thank Nicole Johnson. She's the one that coordinated it for all of us, and she did a fabulous job. And one of the things I want to say is it's just our joy, our pleasure, our call, really, to pray for each and every single one of you and pray on all the prayer requests all week. And one of our most powerful prayers is Dr. Moira, and her call ministry is Our Beautiful Garden. So if you ever get a chance to get out into our garden, it's just beautiful, and she holds that space to make it so beautiful. So I'd like to call her out because she's going to be our light holder today. Please join me into the silence. I rejoice, for this is the day that God hath made. I rejoice, for I know that anything and everything that I need, and anything and everything you need, has already been called forward. It has already been given. For I know that it is Spirit's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. I rejoice because I know that the activity that takes place right here, right now, is the greater ability to receive it and to allow it into my life. So I open to this day. I open to the oneness, the perfection. I open to more joy, more love, more peace, more abundance. I open to that infinite potentiality. I open to more beauty, more love. And I just let go. I let go of anything that does not serve me. I let go of any old patterning, old beliefs. I open to this day, this congregation, this service. I open to this community that we call Seaside Center for Spiritual Living. I open my heart to every word that is spoken, every note that is sung, that is played. I open to that energy, that smile of this community. And I open to the words of Reverend Christian, knowing that he is that place where heaven meets earth, that he is that clear conduit that vessel through which Spirit moves through and so magnificently, so powerfully expresses as Him. I rejoice, for this is the day that God hath made.
God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good to God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good to me.
Thank you, Danielle. That's beautiful. God is so good. God is so good all the time, all the time. Thank you for singing us in beautifully and anchoring us in that song. And thank you, Dan, for your accompaniment. Always thank you. And Sharon, thank you for your prayer and for centering us and just for all that you do and all that you've always done here at Seaside. Grateful for you and all of our practitioners, It's my joy to be here with you this morning. Welcome. I want to welcome all of you, each and every one of you. I especially want to welcome anybody who might be here for the first time. If it is your first time, please know you are welcome. We honor all paths to God. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. We do have a first-time visitors package for you. It's at the table as you come in through the glass doors. You pick one up, take it home, read a little bit about who we are, what it is that we believe. They can take you to our website where you can where you can write on our website. You don't even need the QR code anymore. You can listen to a basic beliefs talk from Dr. Christian, which explains a little bit about what it is that we believe and what it is that we teach. And stick around. Let us get to say hi to you. Welcome to all you tuning in at home. We're glad that you're here. We know that you can, find us on Facebook or YouTube or on our very own website. So we're glad you're here. I know there's a bunch of you. We think almost 500 people when we track it that watch us on Sunday. So we're glad that you're here. Really glad that you're here. Let's see, I did the announcement, so I don't really have too much to talk to you about because I already announced everything. Normally, I always have one or two things that I want to add. What I do want to mention is I want to mention our flower ministry. Our flower ministry is the ministry that supplies the beautiful live flowers on stage every Sunday. You can sign up at the calendar next to the kitchen door. You just write your name on the date that you would like, and I think there's dates towards the end of the year. And then you fill out the form that's just below it and give it to our beautiful Sunday coordinator, the assistant to the ministers, Linda Amerson. She will take your information, and then you'll have a beautiful slide on Sunday. And today's flowers are from Ken and Caroline Middaugh for their anniversary. Happy anniversary, you two. Glad you're here. 11 years. There you go. 1-1. Lucky number. There you go. So welcome. Glad that you're here. And congratulations and happy anniversary. Dr. Christian's talk title today is Free from Fear. And I found a reading for you today out of Living the Science of Mind book. If you don't have a copy of Living the Science of Mind, I encourage you to go pick one up at the bookstore. It's a beautiful companion to our Science of Mind textbooks. It's a series of essays written by Ernest Holmes, or different writings written by him that were compiled into this one book. It's full of a lot of prayers that he wrote as well. It's got a table of contents in the very beginning of the book, so you can look it up and see what topic you want to talk about. And it did have several readings about fear. But what I found was this beautiful prayer that he wrote, and I'm going to read that for you. Page 363, if you want to look it up in your book. I lay all fear aside, and in confidence and complete faith, I turn to the one perfect divine presence, knowing that the light of truth shines upon my path, even as divine love guides me into the secret place of the Most High, where I shall dwell under the shadow of the Almighty. I know that there is nothing to be afraid of in God's world. Fear cannot operate in me, nor can it go forth from me. At the very center of my being, there is complete confidence, complete faith. At the very center of my being, there is a consciousness of the protection of divine love, the guidance of divine wisdom, and the strength of divine power. And so I turn in thought to the whole world and know that my word is bringing light and life and a feeling of strength and confidence to everyone. I turn in thought to the leaders of the world everywhere and know that love and intelligent guidance is directing their thoughts and actions. I turn in thought to all the nations of the earth and awaken in them the realization that there is good enough to go around, that there is a divine government under which they all may be protected from the fear of each other. I turn in thought to the great creative imagination of the human race and assure it that there is a feeling and a presence at the center of everything waiting to make itself known. And I turn to the great God who knows all things and who can do all things and say, kindly lead me, lead thou me on. And so it is. God bless you. So very glad you're here today. It is my pleasure today to get to introduce our guest artist. She is our music director. She supports our artistic director, Rebecca Jade, and is often here. You know her well. She has many things that she does in the world. One of them is her podcast, The Unstoppable Singer, in which she supports musicians in turning their love for music and their talent into an income. Pretty good, right? She also is a member of a band. She's a singer in a band. And you know, I got to brag a little bit for her. Her daughter, one of her daughters, is back in the Rose Room today. And before service, I had seen on social media that the kids had been cast in a show, and I knew they had significant roles. And I said to her daughter, I said, I hear you're in a show, and which one is it? And she said, Alice in Wonderland. And I said, I hear you got a big role. What one was that? And she said, Alice. And her sister's the Queen of Hearts. So the music just goes through the whole family. Her beautiful husband is here, who's also a musician. Please welcome to the stage our very own Danielle Tucker.
Love being here with you all. Well, I have this great love song that I'm going to do right now. You'll all definitely know it, but this song also, it does something else for me too. I knew we were talking about Free of Fear today, and this is that kind of song that kind of just hits me at the core and gives me that message that I need to lay down that fear to be a fully expressed person. So I hope it does it for you too. Call you when I need you, my heart's on fire. You come to me wild and wild. You come to me, give me everything I need. Give me a promises in a world of dreams. Speak a language of love like you know what it means. And it can't be wrong. Take my heart and make it strong. You're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone, anyone I ever met. I'm stuck on your heart, I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart, baby, I would rather be dead. In your heart, I see the start of every night and every day. In your eyes, I get lost, I get washed away. Just as long as I'm here in your arms, I could be in no better place. You're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone I ever met. Stuck on your heart, I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart, baby, I would rather be dead. Each time you leave me, I'll start losing control, walking away with my heart and my soul. I can feel you even when I'm alone. Oh, baby, don't let you're better than all the rest, better than anyone I ever met. I'm stuck on your heart, baby. I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart, baby, I would rather be dead.
Hey! Woo! This is Danielle Tucker just giving us a great message. You're the best. I like it. I like it. All right. And be the best. You got to move through your fear, right? Yes, all right. Someone's paying attention. Anyway, this morning's message is freed from fear because fear impacts us in ways that keep us from living our life to the fullest. And, you know, what's crazy about fear is how the brain goes. I mean, Sierra, she sat down on a couch, looked up, and there was a spider on her ceiling. You know, it wasn't a very big spider. It wasn't a very fast spider. I mean, it was just like a little black dot with legs. But her head goes into overdrive in that moment. It says, creature is the new owner of this house. Must follow the rules of the landlord now. And so, you know, she didn't want to kill it. And actually, she didn't even want to get close to it. And she didn't want to look at it, but she sat on the couch staring at it like for a long time. And it didn't move. It didn't move. So she texted her sister and says, you know, I'm stuck. I can't make it to the kitchen. She says, why? And she writes back, because the spider is keeping me from my snacks. And she says, can't you walk under it? And she says, what, are you out of your mind? You know, and so she stares there, and it doesn't move. It's like 45 minutes, and it finally moves a little bit, and she just screams, ah! And her, you know, her neighbor comes running over to make sure she is okay, and you know, assures her she is, everything's okay, and she goes back, Sierra goes back, sits down on the couch, and the spider's gone. Which means, obviously, that she'll never sleep again, right? That's the way her head goes. Isn't that crazy what our mind does? I can remember teaching class one night, and, walking down the hall, I turn off all the lights, and the lights are off in my office, and I walk into my office, and there's a stranger figure standing in the corner of my office. I just kind of freeze, I figure it's probably a ninja, like ghost ninja, since it's a spiritual community, and so I whisper, because it's looking at me, I'm looking at it. It's looking very menacing at me. It's actually not moving, and I whisper. I said, who are you? Not very intimidating, is it? So I turn on the lights, and it's my coat, right where I left it, hanging on the chair there. Isn't that wild what our head will do with the fears that we let it run with? What's the saying? People through the first service just shared all the acronyms for fear with me. You've probably heard most of them anyway. Forget everything and run. Whatever F word you want to use to start that off is just fine. But one was shared with me. It says, face everything and rise. That's what we want to do, is face it. Because what does fear do? It gets very dramatic on us. What does fear do? It is creative. What does fear do? It has us running from things that aren't even chasing us. Fear is a bad life coach, if you want to look at it like that. It exaggerates, it gives bad advice, it doesn't pay rent, and yet it's living right in there telling you all sorts of things. Fear is our imagination without spiritual direction. Ooh, yeah, that is pretty good, Fear, what it does is it disconnects us. And so if you want to dissolve fear, what you want to do is connect, with that spiritual essence of your being. Or you want to connect with other people. You want to connect with your higher self, your true self, so you are able to move into where it is you want to go when fear hits you. It's up to you to say, I'm not going to participate, in this, because the truth is you're the one who's got to make that decision. So often we're waiting for, for Spirit to come down or something, to change the dynamics for us. And it doesn't work that way. Spirit comes through us. So often we're waiting for something to happen. But as Ernest Holmes will tell us, what's going to happen is going to happen through you as you. So what you want to do is to come into a greater alignment or a coherence with your true self, your true identity, your Christ self, your higher self, your spiritual being. And you want that frequency to be able to resonate, so what happens is your world begins to take form that matches your inner identity, that allows you to step forth in a courageous kind of way. It doesn't necessarily mean fear goes away right away and instantly, but if you find the courage to step forward, you begin to add to the collective consciousness that is not being impeded or stopped because of fear that is dominating. All of a sudden, we begin to add to the collective consciousness that is rising because it is facing what is going on in the world. It's beginning to see the spiritual truth. We are adding to that spiritual tipping point of the collective consciousness that moves us to a greater kind of way. We are no longer bound by what we are being told. We are no longer making people monsters in the world, but rather what we are doing is seeing the true identity, the Christ consciousness, the wellness and the magnificence of who they are. And with that, the world begins to shift to match that inner expression that is coming forth through you, through all of us. That's the power that we have with what we're doing, but it begins with you. Maria, she was in a car accident and bad one, and hadn't driven for 7 years. She'd get behind the steering wheel and she would start to shake. It was just, it didn't work for her. One day, Maria's babysitting or hanging out with her granddaughter. And the little girl, grandkids, they got it down. They know how to do the eyes to the grandma. And she just gives those big eyes. Grandma, will you drive me to the ice cream shop? What are you going to say, right? Yeah. So, she gets in the car, and behind the wheel, she starts to shake. She starts to cry, feels nervous. She turns the key, and she drives. And she goes through the side streets, about 11, 12 miles an hour the whole way. And she pulls up in front of the ice cream shop, and when she parks, her granddaughter just applauds her like she was just won the Formula One speed race or the Daytona 5. That was the best driving ever, Grandma. And what Grandma realized is it wasn't the accident that was stopping her, it was her fear that was stopping her. And we don't necessarily have to overcome to become confident right away. What we need to do is become courageous. She realized that, I need to become courageous before I can become confident in my life. What we have got to do is allow ourselves to be courageous with what it is we want to do before you gain the confidence. You got to get out there. You got to begin to step down that path where you are going, where your brain plays the wild imaginational possibilities if it doesn't work. But imagine if you start going courageously and saying, this is going to work. You begin to develop something. Joshua said in the first chapter, that be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God is with you everywhere. See, not somewhere, not just when life's going good, but all the time. That is what, but you've got to choose to be courageous. Mark Nepo, wonderful contemporary of our day, he writes that birds learn to fly never knowing where their flight is going to take them. Kind of nice, huh? They learn to fly, not knowing where their flight's going to take them. You've got to become courageous, not really knowing how you're going to deal jumping out of the nest. That's kind of fearful. You can't become confident until you become courageous enough to try that. You don't know how you've given your power away until you realize a spider has got you captive on the couch in your living room. But as you begin to open up to the possibilities, you find something that's in you that is great, that is not going to happen to you, but something that's coming through you. Any Star Wars fans here today? A few of you. Okay, well, happy holiday. Tomorrow, May 4th, is the big day. May the 4th be with you kind of thing, which is the holiday that they celebrate. But what a great first movie, Ben Kenobi was talking to young Luke Skywalker. And he said, and this is classic, again, ready for the epic battle of the end of that movie. He said, turn off your computer. Turn off the machine. Feel yourself. Let the force be with you. To go with that and to trust that. I mean, what sage advice before people are walking around with the computers in their hand. They're being told, turn it all off and feel that something inside of you. If you want to find where courage comes from, it's not on the outside. If you want to be free, you've got to find that something inside of you that is going to have you step into a place you haven't been, because the field is that, or the force is that field where it's all going on, where we're all interacting, where that infinite possibilities exist that already have happened in the no time space kind of place. And we are the ones who are invited to enter into that. Emma Curtis Hopkins, she was considered the teacher of teachers, taught the heads of Unity, worked with Mary Baker Eddy. Ernest Holmes was supposedly her last student. She said that faith is the force of the soul. And faith is that which lays hold of the invisible. You got that? Faith lays hold of the invisible. That's what we're working with. That is the activation piece. That is what it is we want to work with to free ourselves. I mean, it's a great week for these kind of unique holidays that may not be officially recognized, but another unofficial national holidays on Friday. You may not know it, but I kind of like it. It's called No Socks Day. Isn't that great? It's not necessarily you don't wear socks. It's about your comfort. It's about your ease. It's about not having to follow the routine that is there. And so I encourage you to take your socks off, at least on Friday, and go around. And if you want to go deep with this, you can go to Gehil's Gibran, in the Prophet. That's always deep stuff, right? Anyway, but he wrote there in the Prophet that don't forget that the earth delights in the feel of your bare feet, and the earth loves to play with your hair. That's good. So allow that naturalness to be grounded in this earth so you can pull that field, that force, that something through you. And if you want a little simpler one, you can just go with Charlie Brown, who says happiness is not having to wear socks. So that's it. But what's important, I think, when you want to free yourself from fear is to remember how beautiful and wonderful life is. Right? And that it's okay for you to be awkwardly, irrationally joy-filled. That's actually a natural state of the being, is for you to be able to follow your connection with Spirit and Source in the midst of the challenges, or in those spaces between moments, or with the nudges that you might get, or the uncanny, joyous juxtapositions of things in our world where the brain is trying to tell you, hey, no, don't go there. The limited brain is trying to keep you limited. It doesn't like going into these places that are a little beyond. But I think it is essential that we develop a familiarity with our inner communication, with our inner connection, with that something that wants to move and talk and guide and lead us, that we become familiar with what those nudges feel like, with what those goosebumps mean, what the feather on our path means. We've got to allow ourselves to open up to those kinds of coincidences that are communicating with us, and don't allow yourself to be so smart that you make yourself stupid in the process. We are bigger than our limited brain that is here, and we are that antenna, that conduit, that place, and where the infinite is touching down in its miraculous kinds of ways. But we have to get ourselves out of the way in order to be receptive to it in our life. We've got to let go. We've got to rise above. We've got to get up off that couch with our brain keeping us awkwardly stuck because of an imaginary new owner of the house. You're the owner of your house, your life, and your world. You are the one who gets to decide what it's going to be like, and yet we give our power away. It's, you ever go to the grocery store, you rush down there, and so you don't really change, You got your grubbiest sweats on, and no makeup, hair is a mess, and you go into the produce to get something, and all of a sudden, there they are. You don't really know them, but they're going to want to talk to you. Right? So what do? You duck and hide behind the bananas, right? And then you sit there crouching, like a secret agent, just hoping that they don't want potassium today. And look at how the imagination goes. Why do we do that to ourselves? I mean, do you remember when we would actually answer the phone when you didn't know who was calling? Yeah. Now the phone rings, and it's like a wild animal looking at it. Who is it? Why did they call? Why didn't they text me first to tell me why they're calling? Yeah. Our fear has moved us to this place where we have to make appointments just to have a conversation with people. What's up with that? But, our head, is this imaginative, bad life coach. It's, I was doing yoga one morning, and it had a different teacher in it. They rotate teachers. They're different all the time. And different teachers like to introduce new poses. And I don't know why. It makes it tough. But, so we're doing, it's like this, the Shiva squat. You got one leg up and behind you, I got that handle. But then they have us all move forward, and you kick this other leg up behind your head. You're standing on one leg, and it's like my leg is just shaking. I feel like a baby giraffe just, first starting to learn to walk. And now I'm thinking everybody's got to be laughing at me. I am just the most foolish looking thing in this room for sure, but I got a peek, and I look, everybody else's leg is shaking too. I'm not the only one. But look what the head does to us in moments like that. We allow ourselves to go places that is not really the reality, is not really the truth, but it's the fear that captivates us. Calvin, of Calvin and Hobbes, he said that I'm not into denial, I'm just selective about the reality I accept. I like that. It's not denial, it's just I'm selective about my reality that I'm going to let in. So I want you to know that you are, no one in your shoes could be better than you. Starting where you began, being who you are, where you came from, and what you went through. There is just no one who can be better than you at that in your life and in your world. And when are you going to revel in that kind of awareness in your world? When are you going to awaken that you have given enough? that you are enough, and that it is now time for you to awaken to your greatest dreams. When are you going to allow that to happen to yourself? Yeah, no biggie. I'm just asking. Really no point to that. It's just we allow the fears and the lack of self-worth to fill us with that which denies our greater good. But that's what we allow the world to do sometimes to us, is we give up the truth. And when you have that inner vision, the inner reality, you don't need outer validation for it. And yet, we get these things, and then we allow the outer world to shrink who we are by telling us this or telling us, this is, you're wrong, this is the way it is. I mean, energy is all around us, right? I mean, we know that. It is, Tesla, showed the energy anybody could tap in, 0-point energy. And yet we're still paying for it. But it's been proven, and machines have it, that you can have energy, but we still pay for it. We're on a planet that is 3/4 water, and we're told that there's lack of water. And people believe that. That is true. We're living on a planet that is mostly uninhabited, and we're told that there's a population problem going on here. I'm trying to get you that we are being not controlled, but we are being led to believe certain things that just may not be the reality. If you want to deny that, it's not I'm in denial. It's just I'm choosing to accept a reality that we are living in an energetic field where there's enough energy for everyone, that there's plenty of water on this planet, and there are plenty of places for us to live. That sounds all right to me. Seems reasonable. Yeah. But we're controlled into thinking by fear in our life, and we give our power away. Ernest Holmes, as we know, is the founder of this philosophy. He writes in his book, The Science of Mind, he says, so daily meditate on the perfect life, to daily embody the great ideal in a royal road to freedom, to that peace which passes understanding, and is happiness to the soul of us all. Let us learn to see God as must, with a perfect vision. Let us seek the good and the true and believe in them with our whole heart, even though many will meet with their challenges and be with suffering and limitations may appear. It is not yours if you don't believe. We cannot afford to believe in imperfection for a single second. Do so is to doubt God. It is to believe in a power apart from God, to believe in another creator. Let us daily say to ourselves, and here it is. He wrote this here, but I put it up there for you. You can find it on page 185. Together, let's say out loud, together, perfect God within me. Perfect life within me, which is God. Come forth into expression through me as that which I am. Lead me ever into the paths of perfection and cause me to see only as God. That's pretty good, huh? You like that? You want to say it again? Not really. No, a little long. You got it down? No. Well, say it. You can get it yourself. Page 185, you can go read that and repeat that to yourself and allow that to become your reality as you do that. But what I want us to know, as this begins to emerge in our life and we're holding on to that familiar, we've got to let go, because it's the fear that makes us hold on. Everything you let go of has claw marks on it, right? It's like you've got to surrender that. You want to be free, you've got to let go. You've got to be in that flow. You've got to be in that energetic field. It's free. It doesn't cost. It is up to you to align with that within your mind and within your well-being. And in this sense, you've got to recognize that what you thought was perfect now in your life may be, but that's where you are now. And things evolve. When I was a little kid, I loved Kool-Aid. That sugary colored stuff. They had Rootin' Tootin' Raspberry, Choo Choo Cherry, Goofy Grape, Loudmouth Lime. I used to have a Kool-Aid stand on the corner that had those characters on it. I'd poison the whole neighborhood with that sugar, But I pledged my allegiance. This was the drink for the rest of my life. It was divine. It was good. It's what I was going to drink forever. But then came Tang. Astronauts drank Tang, right? Tang! That was the drink of astronauts. So I pledged my allegiance to the new level of my being. And after that, a little bit older, then came rum and cokes. And I found my drink. For the rest of my life, I'm going to drink that. And now I'm drinking alkaline water. Yeah. But, if we were to pledge forever to a limited moment in our life, that limitedness of our brain tries to keep us in that particular space. We can't commit forever to that. The birds learn to fly, never ever knowing where they're going, their flight's going to take them. We have got to be courageous enough to move beyond where it is that we have been in our life. We've got to be willing to open ourselves. So is there something you'd like to create in your world that fear is keeping you from? Well, I'll give you a second to think about, because I'm going to grab another book here. We want to manifest, materialize on a greater abundance, maybe better health, relationship, whatever it is we might be working on. I want you to think about this, because I want to share with you something from Sarah Landon. She wrote in her newest book, The 11 Roles of the Soul, and she's channeling the committee or the council. And so think of that, okay? You got it? So it can be interactive here, not just me. All right, so why is it important to you? Why do you really want this? And then let it go. Give it to the light and let it go. Completely surrender. Give it to the light and let all the limitations you've imposed upon it be released. Let all of your resistance around it be released. Give those expectations to the light. Give the resistance to the light. Say to the light, I have tried. You may say to the light, I have tried, I've helped, I hoped, I prayed, I dreamed, I have begged, I've wanted, but now I give it to the light, because I know the power of love. I know the power of the impossible. I know that there's something much better here that is possible, and I give it to the light. I give it to God that is within me. I give it to the God that is the power of all creation within me. I give it to that which is within me that is the true creation. I allow that power of love that I am to do that which is impossible. How's that feel? You let it go. You feel it. You see, things are going to shift in your world, but you got to let go. You're on a train. You're heading to wherever, and you got the conductor. The conductor is the same guy. He's driving. He's the engineer. He knows where you're going. You're looking outside the window, and there are trees. I love trees. Oh, those trees. But the trees now go by. It's like I lost my trees. Well, but here comes a lake. Isn't a lake beautiful? This is just a gorgeous thing. It's like, and I want to get out, be at the lake, but the lake goes by. But what happens is, that conductor, that unconditional love, that something is moving us forward, and we have to be willing to let go of that which is holding us, because we've liked Kool-Aid at one time, or we liked alkaline water, or whatever it is. We have to be willing to let it go. And if we find ourselves in a situation that we've lost, let's say our job, but let us remember that wisdom that created the job in the first place is what will create the next one. Or you lost love in your life. You still have those wonderful memories of the times that were good, the times that were special. The qualities that attracted you together originally are the same qualities you have to create in your life, but you have to let go of the trees that you may have loved. You have to let go of the anger you may have been loving. You have to let go. If you want to be free, you've got to let go and allow yourself to move on down into the greater expression of who you are meant to be. And sometimes you get out ahead of your friends, and when you're one step ahead, you're a genius. When you're two steps ahead, you're a crackpot. It's like you've got to be good with what's inside of you, because what's inside of you is good stuff. What is in there is that presence of God, and we got to let go of what's not working. And you know what you're holding on to, at least a lot of it. Some of it. I'll tell you what, here's a quick process. You guys get to do this at home. I'll take you through it quickly just so you get what to do with it. And so relax into this moment if you can. Let me take a deep breath. Surrender into your chair. And bring to your awareness something that carries a little fear around it for you. Not a biggie here, nothing too dramatic. Say that for your practitioner, but something simple like I don't know, a conversation you're going to have, or a call you're going to make, or a story you've been telling yourself. Just bring that up right here into your field of awareness, and just feel it like in a cloud. Maybe a cloud. It could be a storm cloud even. But whatever it is you want to make. And just bring that up into your vision and see it there in the sky. But all of a sudden, you begin to see the sun. And the sun begins to shine on that cloud. And the sun begins to bring light to that cloud. That sun begins to dissipate the cloud. It begins to fill it with the golden rays, and it begins to dissolve. You're not fighting it. You're not doing battle. You're just allowing that light, that greater frequency of being, that something better to come. And all of a sudden, it begins to dissolve into that nothingness from which it came. Touch your heart and let us say, you can say this out loud, or you can say it to yourself, but I'm safe. I am guided. I am supported. I am free. I let it go to the light. There you go. So work that at home with some of the bigger ones. Take it to your practitioner and work with them on that. See, it's not a battle. It's allowing the light, allowing the truth, the greater possibility to come in, and having enough courage to look at the light and to deny that which is no longer for you, and make the reality of that greater expression. Because something that Joseph Campbell says is our greatest privilege is to be who we are. Right? See, who you are is wonderful, right? There's no one better in your shoes. I went through that one already. But we allow the fear to allow that not to come out and be. George, he loved the ocean. Man, he couldn't wait to go be in the water. Till one day he almost drowned. He didn't think he was going to survive. That was the end of his love affair with the ocean. He never went back to the ocean. Years passed. He had a kid. One day his little boy wants to go to the ocean, wants to go to the beach. He says, "Dad, let's go to the beach." George goes, "Okay." And he goes down to the beach. And he stays up on the sand, his kid, and starts going into the water. He turns around and says, "Hey, Daddy, come on into the water. Come on into the water." It's like, okay, once again, like that grandma, he realizes, the ocean isn't what the problem is. It's his fear. And so he decides to go down. And he steps right on the edge, and the water comes, and it goes over his feet. And he just starts crying because he realized that the ocean wasn't going to pull him back in. The ocean was inviting him back in. See, the thing with fear is it keeps us locked. It keeps us locked in old stories. Ocean's going to kill me. It's going to tear me back. It's going to pull me back in. But all of a sudden, what he discovered is he was being invited back in. In Revelation it says, "I make all things new." All of a sudden, there is now a new experience because there was a little love in his life that gave him the courage to come forward. Did he have confidence yet to go surf the big waves? I don't think so. But he had the courage to take the first step, and what he found from taking that first step or taking that first flight was the invitation back. That's what freedom does. It invites us into a deeper place, a wonderful new kind of place that we may not be comfortable with to start, but our heart is saying, this is where I want to go. George, another guy. Last one was Sam, right? Last one was George. Okay, we'll make this guy Sam then. I got their names mixed up. Okay, Sam. I knew, actually the first one was Sam, but we'll call this guy Sam. But the story works either way. He grew up in a home where love wasn't expressed. People didn't say, "I love you." It's just, you're there. You should know I love you. I give you a home, that kind of thing. He never heard "I love you." He had a daughter, a raised daughter with his wife, and the daughter had grown up, moves out, and Sam is thinking, I really want to tell her I love her. I want to, how do I do that? What happens if she thinks I'm weird? What happens if, I do it wrong. And all of a sudden, that fear, the creativity, the imagination without a spiritual hook, that dramatic expression is playing out in the head. And you know what he did? It's like, once again, it takes a little courage, Feel the fear and do it anyway. We thank Susan Jeffers for that book, right? He felt that something and said, I'm going to do it. And so he picked up the phone and said, and her daughter picks up, hi, honey, I just called to say, I love you. And there was just silence on the other side. You could just hear the depth of her movement of her heart. He says, Daddy, I've waited all my life to hear that. There's a power in our vulnerability for sure. Vulnerable is a scary place to be, but it's a lot scarier to run from your truth or what it is you want. You got to go into the darkness. That's where you discover the infinite brightness of the light of your being. Brene Brown will tell us that when you own the story, you get to write the ending. Does fear own your story? Does the spider own your story? Does the ocean own your story? Does your past driving record keep you locked into a place? Or are you choosing to be free? Are you choosing to pick up that phone? Are you choosing to let your heart be seen? Are you choosing to be vulnerable enough to experience the gifts of Spirit by being courageous to say, there is something inside of me that I've been entrusted to bring to this world, and I am going to do that. I'm going to be part of the tipping point of the collective consciousness so the world begins to validate the new consciousness that is emerging, the new light that is coming in on this planet. I'm not going to be the downer in the darkness of this emergence, but rather I'm going to face the fears and rise to that new level and allow that world to see it because I feel it inside and I don't need the outer validation. I'm going to stand as a witness to that presence of God made manifest in life, and all around me will see it too. How about you? All right. God bless you on that. Hey, let's keep going as we bring Danielle back to our stage.
Oh, thank you for that message. You got me good with that last story. Whew. Get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand before the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living life need taking chances, but they were taken. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some helping heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance. I hope you 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 still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance.
And this is Danielle Tucker reminding us to dance. Man, I like that. Count me in for sure. Hey, this is time of our service where we have the opportunity to share our gift. We get to give our offering, and we just put ourselves in that wonderful stream. And it comes back. It's not why we do it. That's just how the law of circulation works. You put it out, it comes back. That is being in the flow. And so we got to move beyond just words and thoughts and concepts, but it's got to be a practice. It's got to be action there. And as we continue to remember Spirit on a regular basis, what happens, we find that our life is looking like Spirit showing up on a regular basis. We support Spirit's work. Our life is Spirit's work. And we come to deepen the conviction that Spirit is there, whether I get hurt or whether I'm having a challenge or whether it's finances or whatever it is. Our mind goes first to the divine. And so your gift is important to you as the giver to just to deepen that connection with a security and a peace of knowing your source. But it's also a blessing to Seaside because it allows us to move through time and space in this beautiful place. So as we all are blessed by this moment, I invite you to look within your heart and to give from there. And I invite our ushers and greeters to come forward as we do take our gifts from that deep place from within. And I want to say thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you can't be here on a Sunday. Greatly appreciated. Those that are part of the auto tithe, that regular systematic from your world into Seaside's, that regularness helps a lot because we are obligated on a regular basis to keep things going. And you guys at home, thank you for pressing those buttons. So go ahead, press one of those now, whether it's, you can see them. I don't know what they are, but I know you do it. So I love you at home. It's we're blessed for sure. So it's in this moment, I'm just filled with gratitude. And with the most generous of spiritual communities. For this truly is a blessed moment where that wonderful flow of life begins to express through each and every one of us. It allows us to be conscious in our giving. It allows us to support Spirit in our life. And as we continue to do that, what we find is our life is supported, it is enriched, it is blessed, it is held, it is taken care of. Truly, we are part of that infinite amount of energy that is ever available. And we become that wonderful vortex through which it flows. I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to participate in the wonderful flow of life. And so it is. Amen. And together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. those are our guys from Seaside. Nice job, guys. And I stand before this bounty, and I can feel the outpouring, the love, and the caring. For each of these gifts have been blessed and infused with your love. And so it is received with love, it is handled in good stewardship, and is put forth back into life to carry that divine frequency to all that comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to be part of the wonderful flow, and so it is. Amen. All right. Hey, this is Susan Murphy. She is your board president here at Seaside, student in the School of Ministry, and head of our kindness crew. And we got a sign up going on now. What's happening out there today?
There's a lot happening out there, so we are taking sign ups for those that want to host.
Host what?
Host for gourmet. Hello.
Hello.
Host for Gourmets for God. So
Yeah.
you can be creative. You can think of something you love to do, and you can share it with all of your Seaside family. It can be 5 people or 100 people. You choose. You pick. But get on it. Do I have your commitment? Okay.
All right.
Done.
Done. Sounds good. All right. Yeah, so sign-ups are going today. We're inviting you to open up your home or a place for a meal where we can bring people in and celebrate together and share a meal and have some fun and conversation, deepen relationships. But it starts with everybody signing up and saying, hey, I'll do one. So, hey, Danielle, thank you. Wonderful. Thanks for handling both sides of this morning. Last minute. That's great. Thank you. And Reverend Debbie, just great morning, great week. Just always moving things forward, and bless you for your creativity. You took some to the show last week or so to see Moonlight. Yeah, your creative group's working well. So, hey, giving us sound today, Matthew, thank you very much. Ed, thank you very much. And giving us the visuals today is Landon. Hey, it's Landon's birthday today. Landon turns 18 today. Woo. He just got accepted to UC San Diego in the computer science department. So we are excited for you and particularly happy that you're staying home. I don't know what we could do. So, hey, a lot of gratitude to the stream team. We got 3 in here on the cameras. Behind that wall, we've got 2. We have got Steve Grant and probably Seth, and who knows who else is in there. But it takes a lot to deliver that to you guys at home. And so thank you for your support of it for sure. Lots going on at Seaside. As soon as I'm done carrying on here, they're getting together with Reverend Debbie and Tara Short, who's the head of our education, sharing ideas or answering questions about the advanced consciousness class because that is a good, big, fun commitment. But so they answer questions before we start summer. So afterwards, that'll be taking place in one of the classrooms over there. Wednesday is the midweek service. As you know, it is fabulous. This week is Reverend Lori McMacken. She is always a superstar with her delivery. And this week it is the Sacred Power of Compassion, kicking off the month of compassion. You want to be there. It's a happening spot. Thursday, we got Reverend Rebecca. If you don't want to age, come to Rebecca's class. She's going to show you this is how you can look at 150. You just need to breathe right? Friday, couples group is going on. Saturday, Terry Strom's business group. Sunday's Mother's Day. Oh my goodness, that's good for me to remember. But you know, the big news here is the Gourmets for God. And so the first beginning of the signups, they have me do this salsa. Now, if you remember last year early on, I blew up my blender. And so they refused to give me a blender anymore, so I went out and bought my own. And I realized at the first service, they didn't give me any utensils for pushing the stuff in the blender because last year I stuck it in the blade and blew up the thing. So they thought I'd be best not to have one. So I got it myself. And so now I've got a blender and I have got utensils, and we're going together make the salsa I kick off every year with. And so hopefully the intention is you go back to the table and try it and then sign up saying, I'll host one. If Christian can cook something, I can too. You know? All right, so here we go. It is a salsa. Everything is organic and groovy because really there's no other way to eat. And here is my brand new Vitamix with a plunger that I can't hit the blade with anymore. So I'm going to put in first, because they didn't break up last time, are the jalapenos. 1, 2, you want, how many, 3, 4 more? Okay, then we'll put some onions on the bottom. You want mostly red or white? What do you want? Both. Not too many were around friends. All of them, that's all you're getting. Tomato, oh, here we go. Here's my secret that nobody does, and it gives it a different color, it gives it a different flavor. It's cucumbers. I do it every year, so you guys like it in the past, but I think next year I'm going to use mangoes. What do you think? Next year, mangoes, but this year, cucumbers. There you go. For that flavor, little bit of cilantro. I really never know what that's good for, but you're supposed to put it in this kind of stuff, I guess. And tomatoes, and I don't know, a little drop of olive oil for some reason, a little shot of vinegar, and lots of pepper in case the jalapenos weren't enough. And they complained I used too much salt last time, so only a hint of salt and lime. Yeah. Okay, guys. This is where it gets different. Yeah, we need some more tomatoes. Not yet, not yet. There we go. Okay, are we ready? Now, we can't do too much of this. Maybe I should cover the top first. What do you think? Not too much. I think that's good enough. Let's see here. Looks kind of mixed, not too watery. Put it in the bowl. Here we go, guys. Look at how much. We got enough for everybody. Different color, sweet because of the cucumbers, bunch of chips for which guy of the band wants to try it this time? Dan. It is tradition that the pianist tries it, right? Okay, Dan, the man. Oh, I better not give you the whole bowl. How about a little of this? There we go, about that much. Yeah, a little, because it's really good, you'll want more. Okay, drum roll, please. You can have a bowl, man. Hey! Woo, all right. There we go. All right, so hopefully it inspires you enough to go to the table and check it out, see what we're up to. At least check out the salsa and can compare it to next year's mango. I've never done mango before, so I'm gonna pray. How's that? Okay, kids, we love you. We're running late, so I'm gonna pray here, and I can just feel a power. There's a presence. There's a life force. There's music. And I know right now, I can feel that something, that joy of this day, that which is emerging beyond where we sit, something that gives us the courage to face the challenges. You can feel the touch of the divine that is moving through us in this moment. For truly the blessings of the Spirit is in the house, and we become that spot where the infinite is realized. For it is in and through all things. That means I am one with this power. I am one with this life force. I am that which is knowing itself in a new level of expression that brings the manifestation, the validation of being so good in who I am. And so coming into alignment, feeling that divine pulse, the divine frequency moving in this moment through you. Just know that you have been touched by the hand of God, and that love moves through you. And it's in this greater realization that the fears, the constraints, the worries, the constrictions begin to dissolve into the nothingness from which they came, like that cloud dissipating in the sky. Whatever has seemed immobile, impenetrable, begins to become pliable. We're able to move through it. There is a life that is happening now that brings out a whole new expression of the presence as it moves through you. And so know that if there is anything that is impacting your world that is less than gracious and wonderful, just feel the divine touching you in this moment, transforming that blockage and allowing that flow of abundance, of the wealth, of the well-being, of the richness of life, the gold of spirit having its way in your life, and that your world reflects it in relationships that become magical and wonderful, that become intimate and divine. They become the laboratory, the souls of growth and evolution, for there's something profound that is taking place, including the relationship with the self, where healing begins to happen in the body. Anything that doesn't seem to be working with the ease and grace it did of those younger years now moves back into its remembrance. It feels invited back into its fluidity, its mobility, its comfort, its expression, its strength, its vitality. There's innate intelligence that knows how that is possible. And I surrender to that, letting go of my stories and moving into a greater sense of being this time choosing to dance in life. And with that, I bring that into all that I do with creative expression, with a wonderful movement from within to the world. And my world validates this form. I begin to just be at a whole new frequency, and my world is lighter, more joy-filled, has greater ease, greater expression, greater abundance. I'm just living in a greater state of being, knowing that this is only the beginning of that greater yet to be. So I stand here with gratitude and thanksgiving, knowing every prayer request that has been brought forth to our spiritual community is now fulfilled, that the wonder of God has its way in the transformative way of our life and our world on the most perfect path. We find the courage to take that first flight, to jump from the nest, to get up from the couch and move forward and find there is something in our flight that we never knew was possible, far greater than the limited brain could ever have imagined. There's more beyond Kool-Aid, and I say thank you, God. And it's in this state of grace and gratitude I let it go. The words we have spoken, they're the truth, finding the most direct means of expression in our world. So with a deep sense of faith and unshakable conviction, I just allow that infinite intelligence, that omniscience to have its way as our life now. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you've got to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, Seaside, let's hear it. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Hey, our affirmation for the week is, I am now free. Together, I am now free. Again, I am now free. Touch your heart and let's say it again. I am now free. Again, I am now free. One more time like you mean it. Come on. I am now free. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe. Through joys and through fears, in this world I walk. God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. 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 Happy Sunday, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.